Okay. All right. Let's bring up my friend Ria. Ria, it's going to take me about 45 seconds to like make sure I can click your thing because and get you up here is because my computer is like hates how fast my AI is gobbling up all my stuff. So give me just a second. We're going to bring her up here and we're going to be talking about an RV park slash golf resort, which is crazy. I never thought I'd own a golf course. In fact, people have brought them to me before and I go, I don't think I want to own a golf course. That sounds like a lot of work. But this one has an RV park attached to it and has a lot of expansion opportunities. So, Ria, my friend, I'm going to give you co host capabilities as well so you can share your screen.
Awesome.
Ria Campbell, why don't you give us, I don't know, give us 3 to 5 minute story of like your journey in Sub 2 and where are you at now and what are you and your partners focusing on? And then we'll jump into the deal.
Well, I just want to say hi to you first. Hi.
Hi, what's up?
How are you?
Really good.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this. I know you've been on the road. Man, have you been busy,
Never been
right?
busier.
Yeah. Yeah. And can I just say, by the way, when you talked about community camp, holy, okay, for anybody who doesn't know what community camp was, that's honestly where the magic completely happened for me because I I came into sub two. I had no idea sort of what I'd gotten into. And I was invited to come to community camp. It was a small group of people. And I said to my husband, I'm not going. And he said, what do you mean you're not going? I said, I don't know these people. They don't know me. I'm not going. And he said, but you like these people. You love what you're doing. Like, why wouldn't you go? And I thought, well, I don't know anyone. And whatever I did, right? I did a little bit of that. I know you would have said I was a total knucklehead. And I connected with Andrew Murray. So he was like my first friend in sub two. And Andrew said, you and I will stick together. I was like, okay, dude, it'll be fine. Like I have my first friend. And you know what? I showed up to community camp and you guys like the lid blew off, right? I mean, there were moments where I thought I was going to cry. I know I'm a total crier, by the way. I like if somebody else cries, I will cry. And it was like the, this sense of community. By the way, I just want to also say, I'm not a big community girl. Like I came from the world of tenant rep. Like we're going to kill the competition so that we can eat, right? That's how I grew up in commercial real estate and tenant representation, very different, right? Like somebody else had to lose in order for me to win. And I took great pride in winning. And so that was not a normal experience for me. And it was like, wow, it was magic. So that's honestly like, so that was July of 2023. That was where everything changed for me. And I leaned into community, squatting up. I leaned into, I mean, every event, every activity, every opportunity to exchange molecules with another person in the community. I got on airplanes, I went to dinner, I had breakfast. I mean, I did everything. I jumped off airplanes. I shared beds with other adult women that I didn't know. I did everything because you said like you don't get it, like don't, like the magic is not in the Zooms, it's in the community. And I was like, well, I didn't pay this man who I don't know all this money because I'm a little bit cheap. I don't like to spend money that I don't feel like I'm getting utility value out of to like not do what you said. And then it like uncorked for me.
Yeah, and you did all sorts of deals: single family sub two, seller finance, lease options, fix and flips, wholesales, land wholesale. You've done so many things, gotten big chunks of money on these types of deals, and you did a boutique hotel. I don't know, I think I invested like 100 grand into your boutique hotel. Where is that one located?
You did. You don't remember.
No,
I know you
because I
don't.
didn't invest in the hotel. I invested in my friend, and
Yes, thank you.
and when my friend tells me, "Hey, she's working on something," I'm like, "All right, I'm in. What is it?" And I've never been there. I know you've done events there. Is it called Mount Snow?
It's called the Inn at Mount Snow, and
Okay.
it's at the base of a Vail-owned ski resort. And
Wow.
it is, I mean, it's super chic, it's beautiful. And so 1 year, right? We're post stabilization. It took us a full year to get stabilized. Let me tell you, a hotel is a heavy lift, everybody. So for those of you, and I know a lot of you are excited about hotels and you're reaching out to me, and that's awesome. And I want to encourage you, like, keep doing that, but just be prepared. I mean, it's a heavy lift, like an RV park, right? Like a hospitality oriented asset. Just there's, you've got staff and you've got cost of goods and you've got ordering and you've got a tech stack, you've got an entire business plus real estate plus contractors plus. It goes
Yeah,
on.
that's a great point for a lot of people that are jumping into RV parks, mobile home parks, boutique hotels, a lot of those things. It's a business attached to real estate. It's not real estate, real, right? It's like I'd say it's 85 to 90% business and it's
Yeah.
10% real estate. Even though it looks and feels like it's all real estate, it really is business. And you have all of those things that you talked about and more. And plus the weather, right? You have the weather and you're dealing with all sorts of things where contractors won't show up or, hey, we had a storm or all of those unknown type of things. So you're dealing with that. So I've invested with her in boutique hotels and now she reaches out to me, I don't know, probably a month ago, says, hey, got a really fun project and it's got the greatest story. Actually, it was probably back in November. She was texting me saying, hey, I've got this crazy story. And I know you're going up through New York. When are you going to be in New York? Maybe you can stop by this project and we can partner on it. I go, okay, great. But she kept going back and forth with the seller. So I know there's a great story here. There's got to be something here. I want to hear about it because I wasn't able to go to the property at the time when I was meandering up through New York. And she then told me in, I think December, maybe even early January, hey, like it's still going. We're just going back and forth on some terms. We're figuring those things out. And then finally, I'd say about a month ago, she reaches out. She goes, okay, we're ready to go. And we're jumping in, we're buying this thing. And not only did she buy an RV park slash golf course, she also got an RV, like this big class A RV, all sub two as well. And so I'm like, you know what'd be fun is let's break it down. Let's talk about where the deal came from. Let's talk about, what are your plans with it? Because it seems like it's weird, right? My first question, which I know you'll answer later, that pops in my mind is that it's got 12 holes of a golf course, not 18, not 9, 12. And so I look at that and I go, are we going to cancel 3 of those and just do a 9-hole golf course and then develop 3 of those holes? Or are we going to keep it 12 because we're trying to create a new sport? I don't know. So let's talk about the project you have right now. Where is it located and where did you and your partner find it? And also give a shout out, obviously, to your partner on the deal.
Yes, no, I want to give a huge shout out. So just a little bit of background. So I partner really with anybody and everybody, right? I will, if it's a good deal, I will partner with anyone. And typically, what I'm looking for is just really being clear. And Pace, you've given us really good direction on this, on upfront expectations, right? Here's what I do, here's what I don't do. Here are the things that make me crazy. Like if I send you a text message or an email, I expect an answer within 24 hours. I know it sounds crazy, but these are the sorts of things that you want to make sure you have conversations with someone before. Now, your operating agreement is going to govern your 1065 joint LLC if that's the way you're going to run the project. But having that discussion before you get a little too far along is something that will keep you out of resentment. And that's really, really important. And so my
It's
partner,
not, it's not,
Kyle,
it's, I
yeah.
know she wants to keep the train going, but her and I both have an opportunity to talk about how important this is. I didn't think she was going to bring that up, but guys, it's not just kind of important. It's not very important. It is paramount, required. Holy crap. Why didn't I do this type of thing? We talk about it so much in the ethics, in safety, and all sorts of other badges. It's in the course. When you guys, come into a community like this, it's tens of thousands of people. We are the largest real estate group in the world. And you're going to have people that have different communication styles. And when things get tough, the worst thing that people could do is clam up and stop communicating instead of saying, hey, this is happening. Here's why it's happening. I made a mistake and I'm working on it. I'm going to fix it by doing X, Y, Z, and it won't happen again. I can handle that all day long. What I can't handle is somebody that just stops texting. And I also can't, with how fast I want to move, if somebody takes 2 days to reply back to an important message, no. Like we're not having that conversation. Or Heck, if you're going to take 2 days to reply back, at least give me a team member on your team. Like the thing for me is if you text me, I'm speaking or I'm traveling or I'm at meetups and meeting 700 people. And sometimes my cell phone goes 2 days without me looking at it, but I have people on my team that can always be reached. There is always somebody on my team. Ria does a great job. If she's like, hey, here's wiring information, or hey, here's an update. She'll reach out to Ryan or Molly or somebody else on my team. Oh my gosh, there's nothing worse on the planet than when somebody does not communicate with you. And so when you're being interviewed by somebody like Ria, she's going to give you expectations, and those expectations are going to be communication style. Like there's no way we're going to partner on something if you do not communicate. We're going to have a lot of problems. And so be very aware of that, guys. If somebody doesn't ask you that, you guys are in for a world of hurt, because partnerships will get tough. 100% of the time, there will always be something that happens. The communication is what keeps everything all kind of seamed together. So, Ria, you make sure that's very aware of people when they partner with you.
Yeah, I actually have an entire document, and it is sort of designed to scare somebody away if they don't like some of those things. And they're very, look, I have a particular personality. I like to move really fast. And when the rubber hits the road, I want to make sure that somebody's like right there beside me. The other thing that's really important, Pace, and I want to touch on this, is emotional intelligence. Because you said it, right? It's going to get hard. What we do is hard. And there are going to be moments where you just feel like, what have we done? And you might make a mistake. I might make a mistake. And so I need to be able to say to you, or you need to be able to say to me, I didn't handle that so well, and I want to apologize. I want to make an amends for it. And here's what we're going to do to move forward. Awesome. Right? Because this is a business relationship, and you cannot resentment for 10 years. We got a seller carry note, 3% for 10 years. We are not selling this baby, right? I mean, so you want to think about, like, do not get yourself into a world of hurt with somebody that does not align with the way that you operate. And the only way that you're going to know that is so I send my upfront agreement, which I did to my partner, and then I usually like to get on a call and I like to look in the whites of the eyes and say, how do you feel about that? Because I can tell by the way they're talking to me if there's something that made them uncomfortable. And there might be something that says, well, that seems a little strict. And I'm like, yes, but I'm held to the same standard. Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough. This is not a document that's like, we're not signing, it's not a legal document, but it's designed to make sure that before you start doing the pre-work and moving up to a close and then getting into a partnership, right? You've got money on the line, you've raised capital, you're like, if I raise the capital, those are my relationships. No. So, and I learned the hard way. I'll be honest with you, right? I had a couple of not so great partnerships. They're in small single family homes. It's all okay. My partners just disappeared. I had to take on the obligation, right? Not super expensive, but you can't do it in a $3 million asset.
Yeah. I've got a deal right now, Ria, that I decided to bring a partner in at $1 million. So it's a Funbox franchise. Some people have heard me talk about it. And I was going to deploy $1 million into it. And I said, no. You know what? I'm going to get 60% ownership of this thing. Maybe I can give away some ownership and I can bring somebody else's $1 million in. Okay. But what am I really doing? If I raise $1 million from my relationship, what's going to happen is one guy, $1 million, coming in, deploying capital for 2 years. He is inevitably, this is what he specifically says. He says, I want to jump into this deal with you, Pace, because I want to learn how this particular franchise looks. I want to buy a couple of franchises. So what does that mean? That means he's going to be communicating with the person I'm deploying the capital into, the operator that is getting 40%. And then me and my investor, my friend, are going to get the other part of it. And that means they're going to communicate. I literally just signed an agreement with a very high level law firm because I said, I do not want this gentleman and my operator who's getting the money to go off and build a relationship without me involved. I brought all of this together. I know it sounds very restrictive, and that's the opposite of what Pace preaches, But man alive, I have watched people come and deploy money, or I raise capital, and then that person takes my relationship and goes and does 12 deals with them. And I'm like, was it me being having a lack of abundance, or was it me being stupid? And I know the answer. The answer is that I can be abundant by raising the money. That was me being abundant. Let's do the deal together. That's me being abundant. Let's do the deal together. And the other part was me being stupid and not laying out the expectations of saying, this is my relationship. And if I bring this $1 million to the table, you guys are now going to know each other, which I have not introduced them yet. But I'm going to make sure that we all have an agreement that says if you guys go and do anything together outside of this current organization, I get 20% of whatever you guys go and do for the next 5 years. And my attorney was like, I go, is this normal? Am I being greedy? My attorney's like, I think 20% is too low. Like, we do this. I'm like, gosh, dang it. Why wasn't I doing this earlier? So Ria's hitting this really, really strong. You guys need to understand when you're building these relationships, who you're doing business with is more important than the deal itself by a long shot, because there will be challenges that you'll run into, and you want your partners to stand up and go, hey, no problem. I'll pick up the slack and I'll help out. This is a big boys game, right? Big real estate. And this is the deal we're talking about is a $3+ million asset that will in 10 years probably be worth $9 million or more dollars. And along the way, cash flow. We don't want to play games with people that don't understand the long term. I do have an asset owned with a partner right now that they're trying to sell. And we have a 0% seller finance note on this deal. Yeah, zero. And why? Because in their mind, right, we went and did this deal together 4 years ago. We've owned it 4 years. And now in 4 years, it's appreciated. And also it's paid down quite a bit. Has no balloon on it. The seller we have zero balloon on this note, 0% interest. And it's a smaller single family home. And so it's basically put, I'd say $80,000 or so in equity, right? The delta between what we owe the seller and what it's worth today. It's about $80,000. In their mind, all they can look at as, oh my gosh, that's 40 grand. That's mine. I want that 40 grand. I'm like, yeah, but like, can you wait 2 more years? It's going to be more like 120 grand each, especially this year. Interest rates are going to go down. They're already going down. Trump went and bought $200 billion in treasury. I won't go into the Trump stuff because people they lose their mind, but my gosh, the man is getting the interest rates to go below 6% for the first time since 2022. Give the man some freaking credit. And what they're going to do this year is it's going to light on fire. So I see what's going to happen to the single family market, but my partner wants to sell. And he's like emailing me every 2 weeks. Hey, I need that 40 grand. I'm like, go make the 40 grand somewhere else. I'm not going to. So you guys got to understand that when you're getting in with partners, you're getting married. And it's not fun to get divorced. And so for me, here's how I look at it. Ria's been my friend for 3 years. And her and I have a lot of shared stories and getting scammed and spammed and all sorts of fun things. And so I know she has some of the lumps and bruises I do too. And her and I both lost a bunch of money outside the community on a big investment, which I won't go into today. Not knowing that we were both going through the same thing, but we were going through the same thing. So when I jump into a deal with Ria, I by no means am trying to tell this woman what she's doing, how she's doing it. I'm following her. She's the captain of the ship. And so a lot of you guys need to understand that as well, is that if you're jumping in as a partner with somebody, let's say you're bringing a resource of some sort, capital, right? Sweat equity, meaning you're working, you're operating, you're managing the park, let's say specifically, or let's say you're a contractor and you're bringing crews and you're saying, hey, I'm going to pay for the labor and I'm going to do that as part of my gig. You have to understand who is the captain of the ship. There's going to be a lot of visionaries in some deals. I'm a high level visionary. Ria is a very high level visionary. She's in charge on this deal. I will not go to her and my team will not go to her. I will not go to her and say, hey, we're not happy with the way this is going. I'm just along for the ride. And you need to understand that when you're investing in a visionary is that they have a vision of where this is going. And again, I don't know where this park is going. I just trust Ria. I don't care about the park. I care about Ria. And so for me, it's an easy choice. Hey, Pace, I've got an opportunity. I want to partner with you on something. Do you want to be in? Yeah, no problem. How much is it? Here you go. Boom. So really important thing. Thank you for laying that out. Was that helpful for some people? You got to be in it for the long haul.
Well, and you know what, Pace, the other thing is that you want to talk about what the exit is. Now, you may have to pivot, right, through stabilization and through the years that you're going to hold it, or maybe you don't end up holding it because there's something that changes. But what is the play that you're going to run, right? So we have a very clear play on this particular project. But I'll tell you, this is not a straight line, right? Nothing is a straight line. And so as you're rolling this out and you're making your plays, you're probably going to have to dodge and you're going to have to pivot and you're going to have to shift. But if the concept and the idea, for example, especially in this one, is to, and we'll get into the details, is to do a refinance, pull out all the partners' capital, and then hold the asset long term for cash flow because we're all into it for no money. And it's a 3% interest rate on the seller carry for 10 years. So we don't want to sell it, right? We don't want to sell the asset. So you want to make sure that the people that you're partnering with that are going to bring the capital, that are going to bring whatever they're bringing, that they have the same vision that you do. Because like you said, Pace, you're in this house, like they want to sell it in 3 years. And I'm like, what? We don't want to sell this in 3 years. So that's another thing. Like talk about the playbook, make sure you understand what you're doing, and then you will have to pivot periodically and make some changes to your plays.
Yeah, and be grateful, that you have. Number one, invest in a good operator. Let's say we're talking from the opposite side, right? You've got Ria, who's the operator in this particular asset. I'm 99% of the time the operator of my own deals, but I've jumped in as an investor slash partner into probably 200 deals with members of our community. And I've never once told them what to do. I've made a decision always. If I'm investing in this deal, I'm letting you run the ship, and bad things are going to happen. I'm expecting to hear that bad things are going to happen. And you'll never hear from me, hey, I thought that the game plan was such and such. No, guys, we're not playing pickleball. And even in pickleball, you're going to freaking tear your knee and, wreck your Achilles heel or whatever it may be. You're going to get hurt just even in pickleball. And you can get hurt in real estate. And hurt means not losing your money always, but sometimes it's maybe the horizon gets stretched out 9 months. Or, hey, maybe the refinance is not as good as we thought. So we're going to refinance what we thought was $1 million. We're going to get $820,000. So we all got to pull the other $180,000 and keep money in. You have to be aware that bad things or those types of things are going to happen and still be along for the ride. If you're not ready for that, then do not invest in people's deals, please. For those of you guys that are operators, here's another thing. You want less partners, not more.
Yes.
And when you're raising money for a deal, which Rio will break down the deal, I am bringing money to the table on this particular deal that we do plan on having refinanced out, and some other people having some money refinanced out within, let's say, 18 months or so. But if you have a bunch of people in at 10 grand or 20 grand or 30 grand, and you are one of those people that have 10, 20, 30 grand to throw into a deal with somebody, don't be upset when people, I'm sorry, we're not taking on people, the minimum's 50 grand. You think that they're raising money by saying, we need a $50,000 threshold because it makes their life easier for raising less money. They have to raise the same amount of money, no matter what. They're raising money not on a money threshold, but on a mindset threshold. The people that have 50 grand or less are in that mindset of, oh my gosh, if one thing goes wrong, I'm planning on this. I need this money back in 18 months. In fact, I'm planning on this wedding with this 10 grand, right? Instead of going, hey, here's 10 grand. I'm going to go make more $10,000 buckets. Here's this 10 grand. I'll be back, or send it to me when you're all done, right? That should be your attitude when you're jumping into deals with people, and also understand that the world could light on fire, right? This is a deal in New York. I promised myself I'd never buy a deal in New York, but then Ria texts me and I'm like, gosh, dang it, I got to break a freaking rule. So something could happen, right? Legislation could change, right? The world can change. There's all sorts of things that could happen. So remember, anytime you're going to deploy capital into somebody else's deal, please watch the safety badge, watch the ethics badge, and don't throw money into a deal that you don't plan on losing. I'm going to say that a second time, but I'm going to say it a little bit slower. Do not, under any circumstances, put money into a deal with somebody and not plan, unless you plan on losing it. Getting it back with a return is an insane benefit. So my main thing is, if I lose the money, I at least can tell people I own a golf course for a little bit. I'm a little bit pissed off. It's not a full 18 holes, but we'll figure out what the hell she's doing with the 12 hole.
It is a full 18 holes. It actually is. I'm gonna give you
Ria, don't tell me I go around the 12 holes one more time. I go another 6 holes.
No, it's really 18 holes, but it's only
okay.
12 that they play. I'll tell you all about it. I know it's kind of crazy. It's
okay.
The whole, yeah. I want to say one more thing about what you just said, because this is really, I mean, we can't say this enough. Pace, I love the mindset that you bring to deals like this, right? Like, and you said, you be prepared to lose your money. Now, here's the good news. Mostly when it's backed by real estate, you're not going to lose your money, right? It's going to bump around unless we have the Great Recession and we drop by 50%, then just don't sell. Like, if you
Yeah.
don't have to sell your asset, then just sit around and go, all right, well, I guess I can't sell until things come back up. But mostly, if you're backed by real estate, it doesn't go to zero, right? In the stock market, stocks go to zero, you guys, or a hedge fund, right, Pace, can go to zero.
Yeah.
Like, there's all sorts of crazy things that can happen. So the way that I think about this now is we may bump around. It may be better, it may be slightly worse. So the point that I want to make is run a sensitivity analysis, right? Oh, what happens if this happens and this happens and this happens, and know the range of everything in between your best case scenario, your worst case scenario. That's why my cash flow after debt service minimum is now 15,000 in place as is. So like, why? Because I need the ability to bump around a little bit and still get paid my cash flow. I don't know, we're going to bump around a little bit. The playbook that we're going to run is going to have all sorts of potholes. I'm sure of it because I've never run a project where we don't have those things. So that sensitivity analysis will save your ass, you guys. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, and everything in between. And if the answer is, yeah, still looks good, we still have some margin, you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's the way I want to think about it.
I have a deal with Rinda Emick, who's in here, and she's a good friend. I'm sure you're good friends with her as well, Ria.
Love Rinda.
She's so
Amazing.
great. She sent me a text back in, I think it was like October sometime, and she said, "Hey, I've got a park. Do you want to jump in a couple of parks with me?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." And I have not bothered her. I have not called her, texted her. This morning, I was just thinking about this golf course park that we're going to talk about here in a couple of minutes. And I just said, "Hey, how's it going on the park?" And she's like, "Oh, all sorts of fun things have come to light, but we're working through it and da 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 da." And I'm like, there's so much she's not unleashing right there. She's just generically saying, "I'm dealing with all these things and I'm working through it." Only somebody who's been battle worn can understand how that little statement is probably 50 things that Rinda has gone through. And just remember, guys, your operators that you're putting money in with, there's a lot of Owners Club members that are buying a lot of parks. We are at 7% of the entire industry owned out of 18,000 that you can track, not state parks. You can't own state parks. Freaking 7% of the parks in the country are ran and owned by people in our community, which is insane to think about. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to jump into deals with Rinda or with Ria or other Owners Club members. You're going to see a lot of them at Squat Up Summit. Please remember all of these things. Who you're partnering with is more important than the deal. How they handle trial and tribulation is more important than anything else. Have they stress tested the asset? And I already know that about Ria. I know that about Ria because I've thrown 100 grand in deals with her, and she's one of the best communicators. My team, my family office is like, this girl needs to be doing more deals because she's the greatest communicator that we've ever talked to. Like, she's incredible. The way she writes her emails, she gives her updates. She's on top of it. She's a machine. We adore you. You're incredible. How many people want to hear this freaking deal? You guys want to hear about 12? Why do we have 12 holes instead of 18 holes? Apparently, she knows the answer to this. So who's our other partner on this deal? And let's talk about where this deal came from.
Yeah. Okay. So his name is Kyle Rosler. He's actually here. He's in the community, and I'm pretty sure he's here somewhere
He
in
is.
this
I
live
saw him.
chat.
He's great.
Okay,
We
amazing.
love Kyle.
So his name is Kyle, and he's in sub two. He's not an owners club, and he got the deal under contract. And he came to me and said, "I have this RV park golf course, massive piece of land. By the way, it's 210 acres in upstate New York, 210 acres, and it's a restaurant as well. So restaurant, golf course, RV park on 210 acres in what's called the Tug Hill Plateau region of upstate New York. So if anyone who knows upstate New York, it's just northwest, I think, of the Finger Lakes region. And it is in the salmon fishing, one of the best salmon fishing areas in the world. It's world renowned for salmon fishing. This is where the salmon run on the Salmon River. out to Lake Ontario. So Lake Ontario is on just on our east side. So just outside of Syracuse, you fly into Syracuse and then you drive to Pulaski. Pulaski is the town. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about this deal. So Kyle comes to me and says, I have this deal. It's actually under contract. He's already got it under contract and wondered if you wanted to partner on it. And the reason he was asking me to come and partner on it is it really has, it's you're buying three businesses and it has a hospitality component, right? It's got a restaurant, it's got an RV park, it's got a golf course. Like this is hospitality. You've got guests, you've got POS systems, there's multiple moving parts to these businesses. It's not one business, these businesses. I said, yes, I'd love to. So let's look at it. He did an amazing job, by the way. By the way, if anyone doesn't know Kyle, he's a very high level operator, but he's
Amazing dude.
quiet. He's too quiet. So I said to him, please come out of the shadows. Please start posting on Facebook. Please let people know who you are and what you do because he's awesome. Awesome. So I just wanted to point that out. All right. So fun to say Pulaski. I know I say somebody said Pulaski, long I. It's not Pulaski, by the way, it's Pulaski. Just want you guys to know that. No, it's not the Canadian in me. Okay, so Kyle comes to me and says, I've got it under contract. Here's the deal. Great. We drop it into our underwriting format. There's a couple of pieces missing. We can't really true up. Like there's some money on the NOI that doesn't make sense because there are multiple bank accounts that get swept into the P&L. There's some she has cash that goes in a safe. There's a little bit that's here and there, right? It's a mom and pop. By the way, fabulous sellers. Michelle is 64, George is 84. And the reason that they're selling, they had the expansion of the park on the north side, so it's 210 acres, already essentially entitled. So it was approved by the town. But George is 84, and they just ran out of energy to execute on their vision. Like they've owned it for 10 years. They're former dairy farmers. If anybody knows the avatar of a dairy farmer, they're up at 3:30 in the morning to milk the cows, and then they milk again at 3:30 in the afternoon. These are hardworking, roll up your sleeves, like get shite done. Okay, so this is the type of people, right, that we're buying from. And they want to do a little more travel. They still want to be involved. Great, because we need them for transition, right? We need them. They've got a lot of tribal knowledge that is necessary for us to transition appropriately through the first year. So Kyle comes to me, he brings it to me, we finish the underwriting. Now, the issue was that we had already written the purchase agreement, and the purchase agreement didn't perfectly contemplate the sale of the business, right? The sale of the business, it's really more of a real estate purchase agreement. So I send it to my attorney here in Chicago. I said, we probably need some reps and warranties, some indemnification. There's some assets that are selling. There's some more clauses that need to be in the purchase agreement. So we get that drafted in. It's hard to go back and change a real estate contract, right? To the contract that we probably would have come out of the gate with had we crafted it right from ground zero ourselves. So our attorney.
It's also not just the technical paperwork side of things, right? It's a lot of it's the psychology of it. It's
the psychology.
I've told the seller this, the seller's already mathematically planned on this. The seller feels like they're deserving of this.
Yes.
They were told this from XYZ PDQ. Now you're asking them to give you 10-year seller finance, but you also want to change something on this holy document called the purchase agreement. And so now there's a psychology of how do I dismantle this, remove the rubble, rebuild it, because it was close, but it wasn't quite there. And this does happen a lot in commercial or bigger deals, is that you'll dismantle the whole contract. And the way you have to handle that is you're handling the mindset of what the seller is dealing with. Was the seller okay with you dismantling this stuff, or did you have to go fly and meet them and deal with this face to face?
Well, we almost lost the deal. So you're exactly right, Pace. So just a suggestion for anybody, if you are buying a business and a piece of real estate, my suggestion is do an LOI with your high level terms, make sure you contemplate everything, and then do not do the purchase agreement. Do not do that. Say, great, let's make this, LOIs are non-binding. right? Let's get this over to our attorney and let's have our attorneys then draft all of the protections necessary for you and necessary for me. And we'll let them, and then you do the nice with the seller and you let the attorneys do whatever they need to do. Because the mindset of going back on a signed purchase agreement with a heavy red line, even though we said to our attorney, please give it a light touch. Like, you're not going to rebuild it. And because he's like, what do you want me to do with this? I said, I want you to redline in the protections, the absolute necessary protections, but you can't rebuild this. This is what we're working with. Right? He's cool, 35-year attorney, does lots of leases, lots of JVs, huge commercial deals. He gets it. So, like, just give us the protection that we need. And when we did, and it went back through the broker, she said, this is not what I expected. This is not working. Now, what happened though was the contract went directly to her and it didn't go through her attorney because I think her attorney was on vacation. And so all she saw was this red line. When in fact, somebody, if you had read the document, if her attorney had read the document, he would have said, this is all very reasonable, no big deal. Right? So it was the mindset that we had to deal with. Now, the good news is we had a broker who said, well, this looks really heavily marked up. Let me read it and I will talk with her and see if there's anything in here. And he read it and they came back and said, yeah, we're good with it all. So he needed to read it so that he could explain it to her. So you're absolutely right. We were dealing with mindset, not fundamental. We didn't fundamentally change any of the terms at all.
But
So that was
they felt like it. They felt like you were probably coming after and attacking the foundation of what they believed and all of that stuff. By the way, I see all my friends in the side chat. Good to see all of you guys. Ingrid, Ashley Perez. Ashley Perez, my team, one of the deals that we filmed on this big long tour, they said that Ashley Perez's deal was their top 5 favorite deals they filmed. She owns this big, awesome RV park up in the middle of wherever you call it. Ashley, tell us, put the link of your RV park in the side chat, please, so people can see it. So your attorney redlines, they see it. This causes a total, Armageddon type of thing. How did you save it? Did you call the sellers? Walked them off a cliff? How did you save the deal?
it was the broker. The broker actually saved it. I mean, I was a little concerned. I was like, "Ooh, I don't know how we." I was thinking the way that we recover from this is we get our little rear ends on a plane and we fly out there and we sit down face to face with them. We didn't have to do that because the broker said, "Hey, I read everything in here. There's nothing, right? There's nothing here that changes the terms. There's some warranties and indemnifications and some like it was really nothing to the terms of the deal." So we were good, thankfully. But at this point, they still hadn't met us, right? So we still had not sort of broken bread or done some of the things where we were able to really build a relationship, although Kyle did a great job of that. So he had had some interaction with Michelle, who's, incredible, the seller, and had done a really, really good job with the broker, right? Had navigated through that really well, very professionally. So already demonstrated that we were going to be able to follow through, right? Which is really what you need to be able to show them, right? Can you follow through and execute on? There we go. Yeah, there it is. So pretty, isn't it?
It is. There's 210 acres there.
You can't see it. Okay. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see my mouse. It goes all the way. See that fairway in the all the way in the back?
Oh,
Way
yeah.
back. Oh, that's a fairway.
No way. That's all of
Oh,
ours.
it's all of ours.
Oh my gosh.
It goes, I mean, there's streams, there are little bridges. It's yeah, there's a lot to this. There's 18 holes. It is cleared for full 18 holes. They only use 12.
What a bunch of weirdos.
I'm going to tell you why though. I'm going to tell this is
Where are my golfers in here that you like when you go play golf, when you have to finish on like hole 13 or 14 because you're running out of time, you might as well not have gone to play golf. It's going to ruin your whole day, the whole weekend, the whole week, maybe the month. You're going to be like, I didn't finish playing golf. So when she told me 12 holes, I was like, dude, what is going on here? That's
this is
massive. 210 acres. I actually did not know.
210 acres. That's where we're building the second RV park. All right, I'm going to tell you guys about that. So we're doing a 40 pad workforce housing. I'm going to tell you why. It's completely separate from our transient, more seasonal park, which has a totally different vibe. Okay, that's the other thing, totally different vibe. All right, let me go back to the deal. So it is $2.3 million purchase price. Seller is carrying 1.45 for 3% interest, 30-year AM, 10-year balloon. No payments until November of 2026. We get prepaid um, uh, seasonal sites. They come every year. So if you look at some of the RVs, they have a sunroom built off of them and a deck built off of them. These do not move. Okay. She doesn't charge winter storage. She charges about $500 less than what she can charge. And she already collected up front, right? $2,100 per seasonal site. So we can't up the rates until next year because the seasonals have prepaid. So at closing, all of those prepaid amounts will come and kick into the bank account. So we are pre-funded for all of the 50 sites. And then we have 10 additional sites, which are our transient sites, which of course we can bump up right away. There is no tech stack. You call to make a reservation.
Wow.
It's all very manual, right? That's what they do. Now they're really well known in the area though.
What's
So
interesting is that I say wow every time we buy a park. I'll probably hit 30 RV parks in my portfolio by the end of the year. And it is crazy to think about how common this pops up. And that they just do such a good job, like you're about to describe, is that they're locally famous. People know the operators and they fall in love with them, and the people just know them by Michelle and George. It's Michelle and George's property. I'm driving by Michelle and George. Michelle and George. And so they're calling to make reservations, even like right now.
yes, that you can't make reservations online. There's no online booking system.
Wow.
There is a website. It's a very basic website. This is the common story. And they're tired operators, right? They're done. They don't want to work 17 hours a day. She's actually the head chef in the dining room. The restaurant alone brings in $313,000 for the season. They're only open for the season. They don't open year round. 313 for the season, just the season. They don't have a camp store, right? There's so many additional ways to drive revenue. All right, so you know the deal. So 3%, no payments until November. Already entitled 40 pad expansion. So here's where it gets a little hairy. I'm just going to try and explain this. There is a campground moratorium in the area. Cannot build another campground. But we can lot line adjust, and that's no problem. Great, but we can't and don't want her lien to be first position. So we asked her to sign a pre-signed release that is going to sit in escrow, that as soon as we have the site plan from the engineers, that she will release from that small parcel so that we can put just a regular bank loan on it, construction loan.
So Ria's asking this lady, Michelle, to subordinate her debt, is what she's doing. And she's saying, hey, we're going to go and expand this. We'll keep your seller finance note in place. So essentially, we're going to do what you're doing is what you're doing is you're doing a seller finance deal on the front end. You're then converting it to a Morby method. You're then going to refinance into a new Morby method. Oh my gosh. This is such a creative deal, dude. Seller finance purchase, converting to a Morby method by pushing the seller into second lien position, subordinating them, essentially then converting it into another refinance once the renovation's done to wipe out that senior debt with new senior debt, keeping that seller in second lien position the whole entire time. And at that point, also the people who deployed capital into the deal possibly get all their money back.
Just from the refinance on the expansion piece. So that's going to be separated off. When you look at 600, so we're going to do that as workforce housing. So you may be thinking, like, why are you doing workforce housing? This is a very high tourism area. It's beautiful, upstate New York. Well, there is a Micron factory, the largest single investment ever made in New York history was just made by Micron. It's $100 billion investment. I'm not kidding you guys. It's $100 billion investment. It broke ground in January. They already broke ground and they expect to be building through 2030, and it is a 35-minute drive from our property.
Yeah, that's
So
huge.
think about all the union laborers that they're going to need. These are guys and gals in rigs that need decent, affordable places to park their rigs and stay for the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. It's a long project. We're a 35-minute drive. So that's the plan for that piece. Now, you always have to think about what happens if we have to pivot? What if we don't have the kind of demand that we expect from workforce housing? Because that's what we are forecasting, that's what we're anticipating, given the fundamentals on the ground, but we don't know for sure. All right, let me tell you pivot number two. Okay, where are my Canadians? There's a snowmobile trail right beside our property that runs for hundreds of miles all the way up to Canada. So I go to visit the property, and let me tell you guys this. I'm a Canadian, so I know about the snowmobilers. So Kyle and I go to meet the seller, fly in. I stay at this place called the Tailwater Lodge. The taxi drops me off. I'm looking in the parking lot, and there are all these trailers, tons of trailers everywhere. I'm like, holy smokes, where are all these people? What are they doing here? It's packed with snow, right? This is the snow belt, you guys, right? You get the lake effect there. It's the snow belt. I walk in, I check in, I go down to the bar, I'm going to get a cold drink. I walk in and it's full. It's the middle of winter, snow is cold as hell, and it's full. And they have racks of ski coats and snowmobile helmet racks because all the snowmobilers stop in this area. So if anybody here is a snowmobiler, people will snowmobile tour, right? Or they'll bring their trucks, they'll drag their rigs, and they'll come and stay if you have a place for them to stay. So maybe we do tiny homes, or maybe they come in their actual RV, they pull their sleds and they stay with us. So we have a couple of options if we, for example, find out that workforce housing, for whatever reason, doesn't have the kind of demand that we expect. But we're pretty sure because there isn't enough housing to house these guys and gals because they already broke ground. They already need affordable housing for the workers.
I imagine also in the summertime, upstate New York has a lot of hospitality, especially with the salmon fishing and all of those types of things. I imagine that there's even workers in town that probably can't find affordable housing just to work there. Like, forget about
Of
Micron.
course. Mhm.
So snowmobile is great, especially in the wintertime, but then there's so much going on there that I don't think you'll have a hard time filling up the other 40 spots.
The roads are clogged with trucks pulled over, and people are actually wading into the water and casting their line. It's like
Wow.
you can look it up. It's called Salmon River. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
David
Um,
Lisi, are you friends with David Lisi yet?
I love David.
I th
David, do you know the Salmon River?
yeah, he says he has buddies that are guides there. He's like, I'll connect you with all my guides.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they can come and stay there. So, right, we feel like we've got some amazing fundamentals. Okay, let's talk about what's going to happen as a result of Micron. We have 210 acres, right? Over a 10-year period with a seller note. We're just going to cash flow and let that sucker appreciate, right? The pressure on that area, right? That's going to appreciate our properties. Now we think about we've got 210 acres. We're going to do boat storage in our boneyard, which is behind a little fence. We're going to do snowmobile storage in our boneyard. Think about this. We could do storage. We could actually build a storage facility on some of the other land in the gravel road that pulls. There's just so much possibility, right? We'll look at once we get in, we start operating the asset, right? We're doing what we need to do. We'll look for the highest and best use. right? And we'll let the market dictate what our next steps are to continue to capitalize and monetize the asset.
Okay, so golf course. I
Yeah.
need to understand why not 18.
So here's what they said. So it is an 18-hole golf course. It has been set up as an 18-hole golf course. They just found that people don't play 18 holes, that they only want to play 12 holes. And for whatever reason, anybody that wants to play more will go back out. And that's just what they have experienced. And so like we were scratching our heads going, really? But that's what this area actually commands. So we're not going to fight it, right? We're going to come in the first year. We're going to run, and there's no benefit to us spending more time and energy and labor mowing the greens, fertilizing, irrigating, if we're not going to capture more upside. It's not like we're going to get that much more money for a round of golf, right? 18 holes versus 12 holes. This is not a country club, right? It is a community golf course. And we get lots of people from the community and people that come year after year after year.
I love it.
So if we're not going to get that much more, but we'd have to spend significantly more, why would we do that?
Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And I get that. I'm a member of a country club, and I'll take my little kids out there. Sometimes we'll play four holes. Sometimes we'll play 8. Sometimes we'll play 12. I think I've played 18 holes in the last 5 years one time. So that actually makes a lot of sense. So if it's a local muni, right, you got all the municipal people just all there locally and they know you. I imagine they're also staying at the restaurant or they're eating at the restaurant. They're playing golf, they're eating at the restaurant, they're going home type of thing. And probably the way the 12 holes is laid out is that maybe that 12th hole comes back to the clubhouse.
It does. Comes
Okay.
right back.
Then it makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do you need? The other one the other 6 holes that they've basically scraped and cleared for, is that where the 40 units is going or is that going somewhere else?
That is, it is going to be on the top side, but it's going to come off another road. There's another road, Lehigh Road, that will come in, and that's the north side of the property. So it's completely separate from the existing RV park and restaurant. So think about this, right? Let's say we have the guys and gals that are workforce housing and that's full. They can have, they can rent a golf cart if they want. They can come over and have a beer. They can grab some clubs and they can play, and then they can be separated from our seasonal campers that are a little bit different, right? So we've got two different, but we want to capture that captive market to dine, drink in the bar, right? And use our golf course. We didn't, in our underwriting pace, and I'm sure you didn't look at it, I know your family office did, we did not account for that uptick in restaurant or golf. We left that at 0, even though we know that's like there's going to be some uptick as a result of that. Like we just want to be conservative.
Yeah, I did not look at the underwriting at all. I'm literally writing down all the notes that you probably gave to my family office. And guys, this is what's great about Rhea. She's a high level gal. She's sold companies. Her and her husband sold to private equity. She's had a successful transaction in terms of selling their business. So she understands family office and she understands all that stuff. She just goes, "Hey, I got a deal. I'm not going to send it to you. I'll send it to your family office." And then my team sends me a thumbs up. "Hey, we love Rhea. We like the deal," type of thing. So I'm learning about the park right now. They've known about it for a month, but she has already explained it to them and broken it all down. 210 acres got me so excited. Bringing my kids there, going and play golf, eating in the restaurant, showing my kids this property. I'm more excited about that than the cash flow on the property.
And we have the luxury motorhome. It's a 2018. Kyle's going to know the name of it. Kyle, if you know the name of it, because I don't know motorhomes. It's like the creme de la creme of motorhomes. So we go to meet the sellers, right? We walk the property. Wait, can I tell you? I want to tell you guys a little
Yes.
story. So we fly in, right? So we get through the contract. Everything's good. We ask them to subordinate their first position lien the first time, and they say no, we're not comfortable with that. And we're like, okay, cool. We'll ask another way later. And so we fly in to meet with them. We stay at the Tailwater
Pause on
Lodge.
that for a second because it's so important for people to understand this. When a seller says, "I'm not comfortable going in second lien position," that's like asking somebody to marry them on the first date. Of course, they're going to say no. Like, date them a little bit more, show them who you are. And so, what does Rhea do? She freaking buys an airplane ticket. Kyle and her go down to the property. don't ever tell me, my friends out here that come on Q&As and all that stuff, the seller won't go in second lien position without reminding yourself that you have not done the work to deserve the second lien position. You have not built the rapport and shown the trust. So even Rhea, who's highly articulate, incredible storyteller, she's great at communicating with these sellers. They love her probably at this point, or at least they really respect her.
There it is. Kyle just put the picture.
Even in that situation, they didn't feel comfortable. And so she had to go, okay, we'll retouch base on this later. She didn't go, woe is me. They said no. She understands how this game works. So she jumps on a plane and goes and sees the property. So you guys, this is your first time seeing the property in this part of the story?
And my first time meeting Kyle, my partner. So Kyle and I have been working through things, by the way, an amazing experience because we talked about the upfront agreement. We share a Slack channel. We started dropping things in there. He started watching how I move. I started watching how he moves. I started thinking, I'm super impressed. I like this guy. This is amazing. He answers quickly. He's got 3 young kids. Like he's on top of everything. Like the magic in the partnership is feeling really good, right? Amazing. We're flying in to meet the seller. He's like, I'm driving in the same time you're there. Absolutely. Let's make it happen. So we fly in. And we stay at the Tailwater Lodge. I told you about seeing all the sleds, right? The motorcycle helmets. And we asked the sellers, we'd love to take you guys for dinner. After we walk the property, we see the FF&E that's going to convey with the property. There's a lot, right? We've got golf carts. We've got a Kubota. Does anybody know what a Kubota is?
Yes, they're the greatest.
I almost sat on George's lap for an entire round around 84-year-old man. I'm in the Kubota with him hanging out and we're, driving the entire property because it was filled with snow. It was amazing. There's a Kubota. There's a diesel engine that's the irrigation pump by the stream. Like there's a lot of equipment with this. It's a golf course. We need irrigation. We have fertilization. We have all these mowers. There's equipment. There's a full bar, there's a full dining room, there's plates, there's, the prime rib oven, there's the compressors, you name it, it's going with it. So we do a walkthrough of the property. Michelle and George are amazing. We look at everything. We spend really good quality time, right? Listening to their story, right? What do you guys want to do? What are you going to do when the transaction closes? What are you going to do with your money? Where are you going to travel, right? You're going to go back to Alaska. We want to go to Alaska one more time. Awesome. What do you love to do? I love the outdoors. Michelle's going to stay on. She wants to mow the grass and she wants to be the fertilizer. She has the fertilizer license. They love being outdoors. George, he wants to run back and forth to the Home Depot. He's a master mechanic. He can fix anything. Like they love all of this and they want to be involved in it, but they don't want to have the stress and the pressure of like, God, we're 17 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? Because they haven't systematized much of it. The filing cabinets, you open them up and it has like the name of the guy that they order their food from and a phone number. So right.
And then somebody will ask, but why did they sell on seller finance? Why did they give you 10-year terms at 3% interest? One, you negotiated great, but also their pain was that they didn't educate themselves. Nothing against them. They were too busy running the business. The guys, they weren't in rooms like, here we are, 7:30 Rhea's time, and she's just on here casually giving you guys a story. These sellers are not part of seminars. They're not reading books. They're not paying for mentorships and educating themselves. They thought, well, you go to college, you get a job, you're done educating yourselves. We are the weird people that are like, we're never done learning. We want to learn how to be better and do this and do that. And within a 24-month time frame, maybe less, this property will be a completely different system. In fact, what will be weird is I bet you that the common tenants that are constantly coming back every single summer are going to go, wait, I don't have to call now. I can just do it from my phone. And they'll still want to call because that's what they're used to for 10 plus years. So please remember this, guys. These sellers, nicest people on the planet, this is the silver tsunami at its finest. These people are retiring. They never figured out how to systematize. In fact, when you say systematize, systemization. He's like, well, is that like in a aisle at Home Depot? Like, is there a systemization that I could buy at Home Depot? That's how they're thinking about automation and websites and AI or having somebody answer the phone. One of my buddies yesterday told me, he's an orthodontist. He says, I no longer have desk staff when people walk in my orthodontist office. I have a robot that now communicates with them and has a face on it. And the girl that is controlling the robot is in the Philippines, and you can see her face on the front of the robot. He's like, that saves me $80,000 a year in payroll, taxes, insurance, this, that, and the other for just hiring somebody in the Philippines. I'm like, what a great system to save yourself money and have somebody always there. And they're not thinking about these things. These sellers are not thinking about these things. It's also really cute that George just wants to go back and forth to Home Depot all day long because that's
He does.
also what I want to do all day long.
And George is, George has a spot at the end of the bar. He likes to sit there and hold court. Like these two sellers, they're icons in their community. They really are. And they've worked incredibly hard and they got a really good deal, right? They want cash flow. They don't want a huge capital gain. They don't, I mean, the government's going to take a massive chunk, so they have to pay off some loans. They've got enough to pay off those loans with the down payment and a little bit of extra. And then the rest of it, they're going to have cash flow for the next 10 years, right? Until we balloon them out. And like that's a good deal for them. And they live right beside the property. They get to be a part of their beloved property for as long as they want to. We actually gave them golf for the rest of their lives, complimentary. You guys can golf anytime you want to, right? And George, your seat at the end of the bar will always be here for you,
That's great.
right?
So good. Okay, so the workforce housing. When does that development start?
Well, let me just go back to the sellers one more time. So we spend the day with the sellers and we build a relationship. We have some moments. We have some teary-eyed moments, right? We have some moments where it's not their life's work because they were dairy farmers, but it's the last 10 years, right, of their lives. And they want to make sure that they're handing this off to somebody that's going to be a good steward of what they've built. Now they can see the vision. They know, right? They know there's 40 additional pads that, right? The vision that they had is what we are going to continue and then some, but they just don't have the energy or the time frame. George is 84, right? They just don't have that time frame. So we're building this amazing relationship. We gel really well together, right? We're she's telling us about how things operate, what we might want to be thinking about. We're talking about what the transition is going to look like, right? We're really just sort of making sure that we're fully in sync. We finish the day. Kyle and I go back to the hotel and we say to them, guys, you're going to come and join us for dinner because we want to have just more of a social experience with them because, quite frankly, they're the bank. We're going to have a 10-year relationship with them. And we want to make sure that it's good, that they feel good about us, that we feel good about them because we're getting into a 10-year relationship, right? And they live right beside the property. So I'll just fast forward for this part. We had a great dinner. Michelle, was a little bit emotional, right? We've worked really hard. I, of course, got emotional. There's some hugging, right? Lovely, lovely people, because this is this is their legacy. So you always want to remember that and be very sensitive, right? You want to read the human to make sure you're not talking, yeah, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna build those 40 and then we're gonna come in, we're gonna bulldoze this. Like, whoa. Now the good news is they're open to all of those things. Absolutely. You could put storage here, you could do boat storage, we just never did. You could do RV storage, you can charge for the RVs that stay here in the winter. Yep, no problem. You'll probably have people bitch and moan about it, but yes, you can charge for it. We just never did. Great. Like, right, all the things that we're going to do because we don't want to surprise them and all of a sudden do these things. And then they're like, you horrible people, you never told us you were going to do any of that because now we're in a relationship with them, right? So we just want to introduce things gently, make sure they're cool. They're good with all of it. So now we can fast forward. There we are. There they are, George and Michelle. Yeah, yeah, that's them. I sent that picture to Pace when we had our dinner together. It was very sweet, you guys. was very sweet. Yeah.
Monica says, when did they accept the second lien position?
Oh, okay. No, but yeah, that part is coming. Well, let me tell you about, okay. So we have our dinner. Everything's great. We have a good relationship. We come back home. We start to prepare for closing. We know that we need that piece released. Otherwise, we're going to have to put a private money lender on it. And a private money lender in second position for 500,000. Like, you can do it, but it's probably going to come from outside the sub two community because nobody wants to give us 10% within the sub two community. They want more. So I have some people that will, but second lien is always a little dicey. They're going to go talk to their wealth managers, and their wealth managers are going to say, no, don't do that. So after we built the relationship, we talked to them about the vision. Kyle did a really great job with this, really kind of talking through, right, what we were going to do and how we were going to approach it. And I just tried again. I said, hey, Michelle, we've been talking to some banks. They all want to be in first position. We'd really love to get a bank loan, bank construction to do it. SBA, if we can, be great for us to be. We're trying to pull the trigger on this now, so we close and we're able to start that expansion immediately in June or July. And Michelle says yes, that she'll do it. And I really think it was, we explained to her, Kyle did a good job of explaining this to me. He said, it's not like we're taking 155 of the acres. Like, it's probably going to be 20 or 30 acres. We'll do the site plan. We'll have the engineers, right? We're lot line adjusting, so we don't have to worry about the moratorium. Kyle already called the county. He's got his buddy on speed dial, which is amazing, right? We're building relationships with the people and the town and the village and the right to make sure that we've got all the right people in place. They know, right, who we are. And she says yes, that she's going to subordinate that lien for us because she understands that that's an important part of our playbook. And it's not really the value. She's not really like 20, 30, 40 acres. That's not her security of empty land. Her security is the going concern of the businesses, right? So she knows this now, and she's already met with us and feels a higher level of comfort that we can execute, that we're going to deliver on what we say we're going to do, right? I think that's what changed her mind. So she says yes. That is a pre-signed release that will be held by, I don't know if it's our attorney or her attorney, I forget, escrow is going to hold it in escrow, and it will be released and triggered when we present the site plan and it's approved and we're ready to record. And then that will give us the ability to bring in a lender, probably a community bank. Kyle's already been talking to them, could be SBA, 500,000, right? She had a quote for 400,000 2 years ago to do all of that work. So we bumped it up and said, we'll probably need 5. I think I actually put 600 in the underwriting just to be safe. I don't know, right? Let's be safe. 40 pads, pedestals, gravel roads. Again, remember, it's clear. We don't have to take out trees. The whole, it's right. Septic. It is already on a septic system, so we do have to put in septic. And that's it. We do in New York, you have to have bathrooms. You have to have a certain number of bathrooms, even though it's an RV park. So we do have to put in bathrooms, and probably a laundry, right? In the bathrooms, bathhouse laundry in one little area. That's going to be the most expensive part of it. And our plan is to execute on that right away. So we close on March 13th. We open on April 1st. The first camper typically comes back on April 1st. Now remember, these are the campers that have been coming year after year. The 50 of them, they come, their campers are there, they come, they start sweeping things out, cleaning things up. We may not even turn the water on because can't turn the water on in the RV park until we know it's not going to freeze. But they'll come and start cleaning things out and getting things organized. The restaurant, we open on March 27th. We turn the water on. The restaurant can be year round right now. It just isn't. Like, we could run this year round right now. Again, don't have that in the underwriting. We're assuming what is the cash flow as is if we change nothing. right? But there are some additional changes that we can make if there's enough demand. Again, we got to look at our labor. Is there enough demand? Like, do we want to be open in the winter? I don't know the answer to that yet. We turn the water on the 27th. We're all going to be there. So we're all flying in. Okay, wait, you guys, you know what we're doing? We're actually having a party for the sellers. We're holding a party in the bar in the restaurant. So it's actually all the staff every year come back and they do an all staff meeting. It's on a Sunday night at 3 o'clock. And Michelle said, this will be a perfect time. You guys will be there. We'll do the introduction, right? We've sold the park. Here are the new owners. We're really excited. We're going to do hors d'oeuvres, drinks. But what the seller doesn't know, don't post this on YouTube anywhere. Shh. We're throwing a party for her and George, and we're bringing all their friends from the community. We're
Wow.
going to come in after the staff meeting, and we're going to do Lucette, who's been with them for the 10 years. She's going to bake a cake, and then we're going to do this little handover. I'm sure there's going to be tears. It's going to be, just a huge, amazing event. But they deserve that, right?
That's so cool. That puts the cherry on top.
Yeah.
I sent this to my partner, Josiah, and he said, oh my gosh, we need to have our corporate retreat there. Take everybody fishing, doing all the things. When does salmon start running? Do you know? Is that in the fall or is that in the spring? Or you're like, I don't know.
Kyle will answer. Fall. There he is. Yep, it
Oh,
runs in the fall.
all right, we'll have to do it in the fall.
Mhm.
Squat Up Summit 2027. It's not, I can imagine it's not easy to get to this place.
You fly into Syracuse. It's very easy. You fly to Syracuse and then you just take a taxi. It's $100 taxi into Pulaski.
Okay.
I took a direct flight.
Dustin Seiler says Community Camp 2027. Like, what's up?
Let's do it.
Golf
Let's do
tournament,
it.
12-hole golf tournament.
Yeah. You guys, it's so beautiful. It really is. Like the 210 acres are absolutely unbelievably stunning. I mean, I was there in the winter. We drove around on the Kubota and I was like, okay, we didn't even talk about cross country skiing. Again, I'm a Canadian, you guys. We cross country ski on those golf courses. I mean, this could be year round, a little, hot chocolate hut. There's so many things that we can do that would create additional revenue streams if there's enough revenue to warrant the labor, right? But our first play is to get in there, begin the operations, do some cleanup, bump things up, modernize tech stack, the standard stuff, bring in our SOPs, digitize everything. Amanda and her kids are going in a week before any of us. And they're going in and they're opening up all the filing cabinets. They're scanning everything. They're setting everything up. They're going to video the seller talking through everything that she basically
Wow.
opens, her 11-year-old son. They're going to stay in the 2018, what is it again, Kyle? It's called a Stream Wing. I forget what the name of it is. Anyway,
I like how, I
those
like how you just made that word up. That's good.
he's Southwind. There it is, Southwind. I knew it was something like that.
The Stream
Southwind.
Wing.
The Southwind. So we got a good plan. Now wait. So we had to bring in capital partners. So Kyle and I are like, okay, we need a million, 1.1, just about 1.1 to close. And Kyle's like, okay, well, what are we going to do for the money? I was like, don't worry, but if we got a good deal, money's everywhere. He's like, okay, are you sure? I was like, I'm positive because Pace, you taught me that. You taught me that 2.5 years ago when I said, I don't know how to capital raise. And you were like, if you have a good deal, money's everywhere. And I was like, really know what he means by that, but I'm going to figure it out. And then I figured it out. Money is everywhere, but you have to talk about it. You have to talk about the deals that you're doing. Do you want to know where one of the capital partners came from for this deal?
A jam session?
LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn. Okay. Oh yeah, I've been pushing on you for social media for a couple of years and you've done a great job of that.
My capital partner, one of the capital partners. So Pace obviously is one of our capital partners. Jamie Hearn, who is also one of my partners in another RV park she and I own together. She's right here in the Sub2 community. And then I started posting about my real estate journey, buying hotels, RV parks, mobile home parks on LinkedIn. I put a lot of content. It's very different than my Instagram because this is LinkedIn, right? So the conversation is a little bit different. It's a little more elevated. I don't have a potty mouth on LinkedIn, but I sometimes do on Instagram. It's not as spicy, right, on LinkedIn, but I'm sharing what I do and how I'm doing, how I've transitioned some of the skills that I had, right, from selling my company and from commercial real estate tenant rep into investing. Well, one of my friends from LinkedIn says, I've been watching what you're doing. I've got some money and I'd like to play in the sandbox. His name is Nigel, and he's our partner.
Freaking
He
awesome.
came, and by the way, he's also, he's like 60, smart guy, entrepreneur himself, right? Knows how to run business, doesn't know this world of investing. But if you know how to run a business, there's a transfer of skills, right? So he knows golf. He's a golfer, and he's going to be an active participant. So Jamie, myself, Kyle, and Nigel are active participants in the LLC. And you're going to have to vote and make decisions and have people that oversee and all those other things, just so we remain compliant.
Let's go do another one. Let's go. What are we doing?
Let's
I
go.
want to own now all I want to do is own an 18-hole golf course. I feel like we're not complete yet.
Okay, so do you guys want to know the cash flow? Okay, so my rule is we're not complete yet. We have to get my rule is 15,000 in free cash flow after debt service. And I told you why. Because we need the ability to bump around. Because usually you go do the underwriting, you're like, shit, we forgot about this, plug this in, plug this in. Okay, ooh, taxes are gonna like let's like bump those, like double those. Let's insurance, hold on. Oh, we got a quote, didn't come in as bad, right? You're going to bump around as you're trying and truing up some of these things. So 15,000 could be 12,000, could be 17,000, but I want to bump around and I don't want to go down to 5,000. 5,000 with 4 people is not worth it. Go get a co-living. Why would you bother with something like this complex,
Yeah.
right? But you add on our 40 pad expansion. You then do the cash out refinance because we have separated this off as its own PIN. 70% loan to value at a 7.25. Probably going to be less when we get there, but that's what we're modeling. $245,000 in NOI. If we do 600 at 40 pads, right? Workforce housing with 15% vacancy. Okay, so, and we're going to be running with some of the resources that we already have in place. So it's not like a whole separate park, right? We have some of the resources that are going to be capitalizing. So we took a piece of our expenses and we allocated it to that. When we do the cash out refi, so the idea is that we're going to return all of the partners' capital plus cash in our pockets. Cash out refinance is a non-taxable event. So we'll put some money in our pockets if we're doing this correctly, right? Again, there's going to be lots of bumps and bruises and twists and turns along the way. And then that 40 pad park cash flows 8,000 a month. So we're at about 23,000 combined.
That's
For
incredible.
$0 in, essentially, if we do this right. Now, the question is, though, we've got to have a clean T12 in order to get a great refinance. So we have to execute, we have to do our construction in June or July. We need to be done in November or December. We need to fill that up. So we need to start pre-marketing, right? We're going to have some landing pages. We're going to have some meta ads. We're going to have some Facebook ads. We're going to talk to Micron. We're going to go to the trades. We're going to do all of the things that we know how to deploy, right, as business people to capture that market. Then we're going to get a clean T12. Then we're going to refinance it because you got to have a clean T. Now, we could refinance earlier. If we can get the right NOI, and collectively, as the company, right, as the officers of the company, we go, yeah, we're ready to go. Pull the trigger now, 9 months, let's go. We will. But to be conservative and careful, we're going to say we want a clean full 12 months, right? Just in case.
This is such a fun deal. Does everybody love Rhea Campbell's storytelling style? 700 people hung out with you for 2 hours.
I'm so fired up about this one, you guys. Like, but listen, I just want to say this is friggin' work. Like, I'm not sitting back, like counting my dollars, you guys. Like, we are in full blown planning mode. I was actually looking at the menus the other day. We're bumping up our menu, and I'm looking at food costs, and I'm looking at what menu items do we have that we can consolidate without degrading the experience so that we can get some economies of scale when we're ordering, right? Procuring, we're going to have a procuring policy that helps us get some efficiencies. Like a lot of these things, we're going to see how the asset operates, right? We're going to create a camp store. What do the campers want? Additional revenue. Like all of this is work that has to be put into it. You can't just, oh, we bought the asset and oh, it's going to cash flow now. Like there's a body of work that goes into this most heavily during transition, right? The first 3 months, that's where the rubber hits the. I have a team of 19 people that work for me. I built a team of 19 over the last 3 years because now that's also in my land business. So my land business people don't have anything to do with this, but I have an army of people, transferring all of the accounts and getting the Google My Business. And like, I'm not doing that. I'm the investor. I'm going to be doing strategy,
Captain of the
right?
ship.
Right. But we've got to have people that are doing some of those things. And thankfully, I work with amazing people. Kyle's incredible, right? He knows how to roll his sleeves up and get stuff done. Jamie Hearn is incredible. She's in sub two. She's amazing. And Nigel, who came from LinkedIn,
Where
right?
did you find Amanda? Let's shout her out. I think she might be in here today. Where did you find
Oh man. Okay, Amanda is my operator. She's my partner. She's my bestie. She's where I don't know where she is. She's in the side chat there somewhere. You guys, I got to the breaking point. Pace, I think I actually sent you a text and I was like,
Yeah, we were voice mowing back and forth, back and forth, back
yeah,
and forth. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can't work 17 hours a day for 7 days a week. Like I can't. I mean, I love to work, right? I'm passionate about what I do. But I knew it was time for me to bring somebody in who can help put the people in the right seats, move people around if they're not in the right seats, right? Make decisions while I'm out procuring more money, more deals, more opportunities, while I'm on stages, while I'm creating rooms and events and discussions, right? So I can bring more into the cave, like I'm a hunter, right? Throw it into the cave and then let the team cook it up and do what they need to do. So Amanda came to me. I found her in Owners Club of all places. She's an operator. I'm an operator and a visionary, but I probably shouldn't be operating. I should be leaning fully into visionary.
Yes.
And I came to Pace and I said, well, wait, let me tell you how I did this, you guys. I reverse engineered this. So what I did was I said, I'm looking for my Molly. And if you go to the Facebook page and you look up my name, you will see the post where I said, I'm looking for my Molly. And then I detailed just a little. So I have a 2 year vision. First of all, I had to write out my 2 year vision because nobody's going to get on your rocket ship unless they know where you're going, right? And if you can't articulate where you're going, you're not ready for an operator. Period. End of story. Don't bother
Yeah, you're
because
wasting their time.
yeah, you're wasting their time. So I put up that I'm looking for my Molly, and I made it kind of scary. If you look at my post, it's kind of crazy. I did it intentionally. I wanted you to see my big, hairy, audacious goal. I also wanted to see wanted you to see my level of crazy. And I wanted somebody who said, "Oh, that's crazy, but I'm in." And then Amanda came to me. Now, I had somebody actually from the community first came to me and said, she sent me a message and I sent my vision back. And by the way, the email that I send back is even crazier than the post. It's nuts. And she said, this is crazy. This is a job for 3 people. Good luck with it. And I thought, perfect. You just filtered yourself out. You're not for me. That was my filter. It was my filter. It was designed to scare you. Guess what? You know what Amanda said? Wow, that sounds interesting. Can we get on a call? And we got on a call and we had the conversation and I walked her through my 2 year vision. We got off the call and I sent her the follow-up email and I said, sit with it, sister. And she sat with it and she came back and said, I'm in, man. I'm sitting right beside you on the rocket ship. I've got my seatbelt on. Let's go. And I sent you a text message and I said, Pace, what do you think about Amanda? And you said, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
I was
my
like, I'm
gosh,
jealous, dude. I'm
so
jealous.
perfect.
Yeah, you guys are perfect for each other.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. But I do want to say this is really, really important. That 2-year vision that I mapped out, and by the way, I mapped out my 2-year vision. It has since changed. It's a living, breathing document, and it's nuts, you guys. It's absolutely batshit crazy. And Amanda helps me, right, identify the milestones in there and move things around. And she's also a visionary as well. And she comes up with additional ideas. Oh, I think we should do this. I see a need for this. By the way, one of those needs is I have a company. So I used to outsource everything that I was doing. I couldn't control the work product and I was spending thousands of dollars a month. And I thought, what? This is crazy. I'm not doing this. So I brought it all in-house and I created another company. They do all my transaction coordination. They do all my underwriting. They do all my loan originations. They do all my bookkeeping for all my entities. They do all my coordination with tax. It's called Syncora. Then we realized, Amanda and I, hey, we're buying a lot of these commercial assets. We need transition services. We need the implementation of these things, right? How are we going to buy 10 this year to get to our 50 million in assets under management by the end of 2026? Because you guys, that's what's on my 12-month plan. And it's 100 million by the end of 2027. Can't get there if I have to call Missouri's state tax to set up the tax account. Like I can't do that. So we said, great, we're going to bring that in-house. And we said, and this actually was Amanda's vision, TerraCore. And it is a company powered by Bellaterra Partners, which is the front-facing entity, the investment company that buys the commercial assets, that will do all of the implementation. We do it for our assets, but we'll do it for other people's assets as well. Right? So I'm bringing everything in-house. And again, Pace, you taught me that.
You're an action taker and a badass and a great collaborator, just such a great leader inside the community. Guys, you guys excited to see her on day 2 of Squat Up Summit? I actually asked her, I said, when's close of escrow? She says, March 12th. It's going to be at Squat Up Summit. And I go, but you're speaking on March 13th. Can we move the close of escrow to March 13th? She says, I'll make it happen. So at Squat Up Summit, her and I are signing on stage. I know that there's only 700 people in here, but 2,900 people will watch Aria Campbell close this deal on stage. Shout out to her whole team. Shout out to all the people in the community that are all partnered with her on this deal. I imagine Kyle will be at Squat Up Summit. Maybe we can get him to walk up on the stage as well.
Kyle absolutely needs to be on stage, and so does Jamie Hearn. There's these guys, when you find partners, when you find people that know how to lean in, make things happen, know how to communicate, like I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful. By the way, don't buy complex commercial assets with people who can't do that. I mean, just because you'll get annoyed that you end up, you're doing the work. I'm not doing the work alone. I'm doing the work with them, and I am so grateful. And Pace, we are so excited that you guys are going to be a part of, your team as well. I'm talking with Jade on Tuesday, walking her through the whole plan. I already gave her like a full dissertation, but I'm going to walk her through the whole plan. It's going to be awesome.
So
But
good.
listen, but you know what? It's going to come with some bumps and bruises. Like we already know that, right?
Yeah.
We already know that. I have a saying, Amanda and I talk about this all the time, and I'll leave you guys with this. I say to Amanda, who do I want to be in the foxhole with? Bloodied, bruised, bleeding, and crying. I want to be in the foxhole with a human that grabs me and drags my half-dead body out versus leaving me there. Right?
Yeah.
That's the visual that I have, because I will tell you, there are times when you are in these bigger assets, bigger deals, and you are going to feel like you're getting kicked in the teeth and you're bleeding and you might even cry and you wake up with anxiety and you're thinking, but you have to keep moving. And you want to make sure that you have partners that are not going to step over your body to save themselves, that they're going to grab you and take you with them. And so that's my litmus test. Are these the kind of people that when they get kicked in the teeth, or I get kicked in the teeth, or we all get kicked in the teeth at the same time, that we will save each other and get to the other side and high five? Or are we going to leave somebody behind and say, it's not my problem?
Yeah. You also don't want to be with people that get greedy, that want the whole pie, right? That are, in fact, are willing to let go of the entire pie just so they can have it themselves, like a toddler. Like, I wasn't playing with that toy in the first place, but now that you want some of it, I just want the whole entire toy. You will run into those people as well. When I reached out to, or when Ria reached out to me, I said, "Hey, I'm in. I love you. I appreciate you. You're like my sister, but I want to give a little bit of this park to my team. Are you willing to give me a little bit more equity?" And we went back and forth, and she made it. She goes, "Yes. Tell me what you want." And we figured it out. And I'm sitting there going, "This is the kind of person I'll continue to invest in over and over and over because she's not greedy. She's a professional. She brings people along for the ride, which is what this community is all about." I mean, look, Kyle brings the deal to her. Why? This is why I'm so grateful I get to highlight really powerful, amazing people. Is that I highlight Ria the last couple of years. She deserves it. It's not like I'm just highlighting idiots. I'm highlighting badasses. Kyle sees her, brings her the deal. Amanda and her partner with each other. Amanda and her already knew each other from Owners Club, which is great. Amanda's another high level person inside of Owners Club, so you knew they were a good fit. You then see Jamie Hearn, you see all these people collaborating all together. Ria is the captain of the ship, and she uses collaboration as one of the rudders, which is so freaking powerful. Other people are, "No, I want this deal entirely to myself." So I just had somebody newer to the community. They sent me an email. They lost a $4 million RV park in Texas. They come to me and they said, "Hey, you say you like partnering with people. I want to partner with you on this deal. And I need $1 million on this $4 million deal." I go, "No problem. I can jump into the deal. Here's what I'm looking for." This guy let the whole entire thing fall apart out of spite. I was asking for like 45%, and I'm bringing all the like literally all the money. And then I was going to get my money back within like 8 or 9 months. And he was like, "Well, all you're bringing to the table is money." I'm like, "Ooh." I mean, think about this. Think about this. How much would people pay me to be on a stage with 700 people in the community to tell their story and articulate what they're doing? How many people want to invest in Ria Campbell after this investment, after the Zoom? How many people want to invest with her? So think about like what value I brought to her. And Ria is smart enough to know that. She knows
Mhm.
Pace brings a lot more to the table than just the money he's bringing to the table. He also brings friendship and his team and all sorts of things. And we'll continue to collaborate with each other for years and years and years. But not 1 second did I feel energy from Ria that was like, "No, I'm not going to give this up." She said, "Let's make it happen, brother. Let's figure it out." Dude, I love hanging out with you. I'm so proud of you. And I know that
Thank you.
you've accomplished such great things in your life well before I knew you, and your incredible freaking silver fox of a husband, such a badass too.
Love
But I'm
that.
so grateful that you inject your energy into this community and you continue to
Thank you.
rise this entire ocean of all of our ships. I'm so grateful. Day 2 of Squat Up Summit. Ria Campbell stepping on stage, 3,000 people live, and she's going to be bringing her partners on to sign a deal live. We've not done that at Squat Up Summit, so that'll be a lot of fun.
I'm going to bring my two partners into Owners Club as well. And I got other people coming to Owners Club because you know what? Owners Club has been a game changer for me. It really has. It's look, just coming into sub two and being able to, I'm going to tell you one other little secret about me. I'm actually not a great collaborator. I wasn't a great collaborator before I came to sub two and to Owners Club. I actually read between the lines. I watched what you did and I read between the lines and I started to understand the assignment. Took me a little bit. Took me a titch. Because remember, in tenant rep, I want the whole watermelon. Somebody has to lose for me to win. That was the only way that I operated. And I do have, I'm a hunter, right? Like I go out, I hunt, I kill, I bring it in, and I'm kind of alone, right? So to change that approach was very hard for me. But I started watching you, I started listening to what you said, and then I started reading between the lines. And I started to really understand the assignment. Okay, I get the assignment. I made a couple of mistakes. The partner with some people, whatever, right? Oh, okay, upfront agreement. Got to get a little tighter. Got to get a little more intense about this. sometimes have to be very businesslike, sometimes have to deliver messages that maybe some people don't want to hear, but that's part of putting my big girl pants on, right? All of us being big girls and boys. But I learned that in here. I didn't actually come with that. I know you guys may not believe that, but I did not come with. You can ask my husband. My husband will say, oh no, she wants all of it. And I still fight against that. I do. I actually still have to fight against that. I will calculate how much am I making on this. I will do that calculation. Then I have to stop myself and I can hear, wait a minute, the story. Or what has to be true for this to be an amazing situation that is going to bring me abundance, more deals, more money, more opportunity, more partners, more friendships, more relationships. I took me a bit, but I get it.
Good. Well, I watch you go through the bumps and bruises, and I watch you put a smile on your face as you did it. And super proud of you to get through the other side. And now you got this long hallway with all the doors unlocked, and every time you inject more positivity, these doors unlocked. You and I do a Zoom together, more doors are unlocked. You're going to hit 100 million by 2027. You will hit 100 million dollars in under assets. You'll get a big deal. I have a feeling you're going to get a big RV resort or some fish camp that's a $20 million deal. You're going to get a big juicy one probably this year or maybe at the beginning of next year that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, now I'm ahead of schedule. It's going to happen. And you are a great collaborator, but I remember when you joined the community, it took you a while. It took you months and months, and it was community camp that was the injection for you. What's ironic, Andrew Murray, just real fast. So Andrew Murray almost quit Sub 2. He almost quit the community. I see him in Jersey 3.5 years ago, roughly. And he's like, man, I just, I haven't gotten what I want. And I said, because you're treating this like a coaching program or a mentorship. You're not treating this like a community, which is the way Jason says, does community camp still exist? In our hearts. Yes, it does. It was the hardest event I've ever had to run. It cost me so much money, but it was worth it. Like, it's paying dividends now years and years later, but we'll bring it back. We're going to bring it back. Once I launch something at Squat Up Summit this year, you'll see why I did community camp in 2023. You'll see how it all comes together. But Andrew Murray, have a conversation with him. I push on him to collaborate with Justin Tumanowski. Justin Tumanowski inspires him, gets him out of like this funk. He then, Andrew Murray goes to community camp. You meet him. Now, Andrew Murray and Ashley Perez are business partners and doing a bunch of stuff together, and they're collaborating at a high level. So it's just, guys, remember, anytime you are down, anytime you're feeling any of that, you are not missing a what, you are missing a who in this community. You are missing your friends, you're missing your collaborators, you're missing your partners, your funders, your whatever. It's why we do Squat Up Summit. And sadly, Squat Up Summit is sold out, but next year you'll have that opportunity. Also, Sub 2 members. If you guys are trying to get to one of the in-person events this year, please email support@sub2.com. Yes, Rhea Campbell will be one of the buyers for RV Parks at the March event. I don't know that she'll be in person, but she'll be one of the buyers that we pair people up with and we have deal flow going to. Ingrid Hernandez and Monica and a lot of RV park buyers in Owners Club. If you guys are feeling like, man, I need to get that the injection of human, the molecules, exchanging molecules, get into my office. Come and see us at the office, support@sub2.com. We want to see you in person. Regardless of whether you're going to Squat Up Summit, I have built so much more in-person free stuff this year for Sub 2 because I understand and have understood that this is the thing that makes the difference. So, Rhea, thanks for spending 2 hours with us on Sunday, last minute. I texted you. I go, hey, it's a long shot. I know your husband's also like, yeah, she's going to do what she's going to do. She's going to take Sunday night. It's 9 o'clock her time now, guys, or 8 o'clock her time. You're awesome. I'm so freaking excited to see you on Squat Up Summit. You speak right before one of my favorite speakers on the planet, Dean Graziosi. You speak you open for Dean Graziosi, which is a big deal. I mean, he's the CEO of Tony Robbins companies and runs all his own stuff. So you are opening for Dean Graziosi, which is a big deal. And you deserve every single minute you have on that stage. So thankful for you. Thank you so much.
You're amazing. Thank you. You guys are incredible. Thank you. This was really fun, and I cannot wait to see everybody at Squad Up. It's going to be electric.
Guys, we will be there a day early. Night zero. Remember, night zero, the night you are registering, we have a cool party that we're all throwing there. Last year, we had people pissed off of me because we brought in Jordan Peterson and I spent $450,000 on his speaking fee. And we only gave it to Owners Club. And people are still mad at me because they really wanted to see Jordan Peterson. So I got rid of like the night zero, keeping people away from like the high level stuff. And we decided this year we were going to spend money on a big party and getting everybody together on night zero so that when night one or day one starts, we're already, making friends. Also, Quad Up, where people shared ticket costs this year. My team, man, that was such a great idea. There were so many people that are now pairing up with each other. They're friends in like groups of four, and you're going to see people walking down the hallways in groups of four. I'm so excited, so proud of our entire team and everybody that's made the sacrifice to get there. We will see you guys there in a couple of weeks. I don't think I'm going to be doing another community Zoom at all this week. I'm traveling too much. The week after is Squad Up Summit. And so for those of you guys that are newer to Sub 2, use the Facebook group, use the Discord, use all of those types of things. But we are in Squad Up Summit mode over the next couple of weeks. If you are in Owners Club and you have a really cool story you want to share, I might do one on Saturday or Sunday of next week, right before Squad Up Summit. But then I'm going radio silence for 2 days before Squad Up Summit and then flying up to Denver, Colorado. So thank you, Ria, one more time. Guys, have a great night. Good, happy Sunday. We love this community. I'm so grateful for all the leaders that collaborate with me and help make this what it is today. Ria, we wouldn't be where we are today without you and your leadership and inspiring other leaders as well. So thank you again, Ria. Thank you to everybody else. Have a great night.
Thank you, Pace.